Finding a niche. Okay, it's very possible that you already have a market that you have experience with and you already know what market you want to get involved in. That's great. If you don't, I just wanted to talk about a few basic things when you look at a market trying to decide whether or not it's for you. You want to ask yourself, is there money in this niche? Now, this isn't as important as it is in other types of courses if you're looking at things like ClickBank, because honestly, I mean, there are so many products on ClickBank, and it is unfortunately possible that you would get one that really stinks. Whereas with a CPA network, there are not as many offers, and I think that you'll find that the networks, they really try to focus on what makes them money. So you're not going to find offers that are terrible. Hopefully they're not going to be slipping through as easily as they would in other places. So not as big of a deal, but still, you want to look at things like if you find an offer, you want to think to yourself, is there really money in this niche? Like, one thing that I would not suggest doing is finding something that would be marketed towards teenagers, because teenagers are all over the net. They're very responsive in that way. However, a lot of times they don't have any money. So, keep that in mind. Is there enough interest in this niche or market? That's another big thing too. You might find something that you think looks fantastic, but if the traffic isn't there, if people aren't going online to find out more about it, then you could be in trouble because you might have a hard time generating the traffic. Can this niche be sold to? This is also very important because there are things out there that look like the greatest, but if the people in that area just aren't up for it, maybe they're not going to close the deal. One thing in particular that can be difficult is like some of the offers that come to mind for me, and personally I don't have experience in this. Maybe this does work, but a reason that I've avoided it is simply there are programs out there that help hook you up with download such and such for free, download this, download that, join this movie club. And as many of you I'm sure are aware, it is incredibly easy to get things for free, even though it's not legal. I'm certainly not advocating it. People out there, they go and they download music and movies and whatnot. They don't pay for it because through various channels it's available. So that makes it more difficult to get people to buy it. So if it's information that is readily available for free, then it becomes questionable whether or not you're going to be able to go out there with something that costs money, and people might not be interested in doing it. To not be intimidated by the super hot niches or markets. This is really important. When I first started out, I purposely avoided the hot markets because I thought they would be too overcrowded. Whereas I found with this type of marketing, it's the exact opposite. There's a reason people are in those markets, and there is always room for more. Oftentimes, the crowded markets have all these other things in them. There's money in the market, obviously. There's a lot of interest, and the market is very easily sold to. So even though there's a lot of people in there, that doesn't mean that you can't get in there and grab a nice chunk. It also is nice because you can look and see how other people are working things. If you jump into a market that nobody else is in, you might be lost, especially if you first start out, because you won't have a positive guide to follow to start cranking out your own things. Now, if I was teaching a course on SEO and creating a website, I wouldn't say, hey, pick the most crowded market you can find, because then you might be in trouble. But as you'll find with CPA marketing, there are a lot of different ways that you can generate traffic where competition is not as much of a factor. See what others are doing with it. This is also really important. Before you get into market, just check it out. Go to Google and type things in. Let me show you what I mean here. Let's say, for example, that you find, I don't even know if this exists, but let's say fly fishing is a market that you want to go into. Well, I don't really see any CPA-like offers coming up here. Okay, well, what about find a loan now? Okay, well, this is something where you're going to find a lot more CPA types of offers for, and you can also see that there's a lot of good examples here. If you're trying to figure out what type of ad copy, let's say that you're going to do pay-per-click, you're going to do article marketing, I would get on here and see what types of things people are focusing on here. This person wrote, fast online cash loans. That's important because if I typed in find a loan now, I need money right now. right now. So when somebody writes fast online cash loan, that says to me, hey, you know what? I can get my money right away. I'm concerned because I need to pay my loan shark tomorrow, or they're going to break my legs, and I can't wait a couple weeks to get my money. So I want to pay in particular notice to this word fast. So, it gives you some good ideas. And again, if you pick an area that people are not in, it's going to make it tougher to find your way initially. Of course, once you get these skills, then you can go out, and there's no reason you can't start trying markets that a lot of other people are not in, because who knows how successful you could be with it.